I thought I had this thing lined up. Apparently it was not lined up. It's off by a 1/16 of an inch or so with this piece in there lined up. It's supposed to be lined up with this guy. I double checked this guy, it's lined up right. And so the edge of that fairing should be lined up with this, but it's off by this much. And so I was like, oh, maybe I can move some of the screws around. Well, there's a good probably 10 or 12 that need moved around. So I'm gonna be working on that. But I am gonna finish this part of this so I know it's set, and then I don't have to worry about it. So that's this part. I'm gonna get this part put in here and have it taken care of. And then I'll work on realigning these things. What I'll have to do is I will have to fill these holes with epoxy, put another layer of fiberglass along here. And this is, like this one, much thicker. Like I think it's two different manufacturers, I really do. That is like a solid wingtip, it's nice. Everything lined up beautifully. Where it said to cut it was right on the money. This one, I've had, it's just super flimsy and not very thick. And so, I've had to sand a crap ton of stuff off of it to make it like somewhat usable. So I don't know what it is with this one, but it's off by a little bit. So I'm gonna fix that and then we'll see what happens. So that's where I'm at. Okay, so welcome back. This is wingtip video number 3 that I'm doing. And not to ruin the surprise, but the end piece I'm putting in right now is in the wrong spot. Just FYI, I have to redo it. And I did redo it, and I'm not sure I have video of that or not, but that piece does get re-put in there. I had pushed it too far up into the end, and it bent it out a little bit too far. There is a specific spot that it's supposed to fit in there, so just be aware of that. That if you try to jam it in there or push it in so it fits nice and tight, that is not how that piece goes. But back to this particular wingtip, I swear to you, they're two different manufacturers, or they forgot to put an extra layer on this particular wing skin, or the wingtip. It was unbelievably flimsy compared to the other one, and it didn't seem like it was lined up right. I had to sand pretty much everywhere on every single joint where they're butted together. I had to sand for, I think I sanded for a solid hour on that thing to get everything lined up. I did eventually, just so you know, because I didn't like how it felt. It just felt flimsy. So I did add an extra layer of fiberglass in this particular wingtip, in the flimsy one. And that helped a bunch. So I did put all of the nut plates on this one, and I put that back end in, and I tried to get it lined up, and I redid it a couple of times. So just FYI, you don't get to watch me redo it a couple of times. You'll see me make some mistakes here, and then I kind of skip a whole bunch of things. But I do take all of the nut plates off. I remark where it is after I get some fiberglass in there, and it dries nice and hard, and it is much less flimsy, and it seems to fit so much better. So just FYI, don't do what I do. Here's what I'm looking at. Right here, that looks pretty lined up. And so as I start
putting in screws, I'm going to see where it stops being lined up.
So you will see me put in a screw, see if it's lined up, see what happens, and you'll get the explanation here in a quick second.
Okay, so the top of the wing didn't move it, so those holes I think are lined up correctly. Now we get to come over here. Let's see, as of right now, that one is not lined up.
Now, that sounded a lot worse than what it was. They were literally only off by an eighth of an inch at most, a 16th of an inch more than likely.
So, I'm gonna have to fix that because the front is lined up, the back is not. Okay, so I patched where this was off. You can kind of see if you can kind of see it's off by, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch maybe. Not sure what I would call it. Down here was a little bit closer, but still off, and it was off by, you know, a good 1/16 up here, so that made it not line up. It was off by 1/16 of an inch. That made, instead of it being straight up and down with this guy, it was cocked this way. So moving it that 1/16 of an inch, leveled it up, lined it up nice and pretty. So that's what I'm doing, is re-drilling those after I remarked them and made them more better. So.
And just so you know, more better is the appropriate English term for fixing airplane parts that you worked on, and this is the third time that you fixed them. So just FYI, it is appropriate to use that terminology. But I figured I have some time. I will share a joke or two with you while I am putting nut plates on. So what is an astronaut's favorite board game? Moonopoly. Moonopoly. Oh, that's crazy. So why is sausage bad for you? It brings out the worst in people. Worst. Oh, that joke was bad. Oh, yeah, I love jokes. Okay. So I am doing the nut plates here. Just adding them back in after I re-drilled the holes in the correct locations. And I did, you could kind of see it sanded there. I did re-sand everything, and I did put a layer of fiberglass on the inside.
Now you might be saying, why did you do this one and this one and this one and this one? Why didn't you just do the end one? Because it would line up your end. Well, that is not true. Because this is flimsy, although it is much less flimsy now that I added an extra piece of fiberglass, kind of that whole length. So now it's actually pretty nice, but when it was not screwed together down here, when you did that, it moves that bottom end out that way. And so I wanted to make sure that I had it screwed and screwed and screwed and screwed, so it kind of went with the flow of the wing. So I made sure that end lined up. So that's why I had pilot screw holes here for testing it out. Because then if it wasn't right, I could adjust one of these holes, you know, and move them one way or the other to line this bottom end up. So that's why I did that.
And so that's the explanation, pretty much in a nutshell. It took some doing. The first wingtip, I think, spoiled me because it was manufactured rather well and it lined up perfectly fine, and I didn't have to do a whole lot to it. This particular one I did have to do a lot with. So be prepared for that. I noticed that some of the other fairings, like for the elevators, they they looked more stout or more sturdy. But then I did notice that, like my rudder, the one that fits on the bottom of the rudder, it was not very thick at all, and I had to kind of mess with it a little bit too to get it to work right. And I added some fiberglass to make it rigid enough so it wouldn't move. I do not know if that is the correct way to do things. I don't think some fiberglass here and there is going to make one side of the plane more heavy than the other side necessarily enough to hurt it at all. But if you know like fiberglass well, or you know kind of what I'm talking about here with one being just really off, if you could let me know, like comment on this video, I would really appreciate it. Just so we can share the knowledge there. It just seemed really odd to me. Um, but here I am, I'm putting the nut plates back on, and that's kind of all there is to the wingtips as far as attaching to the wing. I do have a couple of videos coming up where I actually do the fly LED lights in the wingtips, and they look really cool. So look forward to that. You will like it, hopefully, and I think it looks great. So I'll have a picture of them at the end. And you will notice here real quick at the end, I took the guard off of um, the drill there, and that's a fantastic tip.